If you have purchased the Pocket Guide to Public Speaking, you will notice that there's other chapters beyond chapter 25. I'm going to just discuss speaking on special occasions, also known as speeches to entertain, and then I believe the other chapters are left for information for the students or the people who read the textbook. The reason is that I wanted to focus on the basics of the information, and then you can apply those to the other speeches which are addressed in the final chapters. So, when you are speaking on a special occasion, what is a special occasion? Let's take a look. First, you may be providing a speech to entertain. These are lighthearted and amusing speeches, and they offer a certain degree of insight, but they don't necessarily have to be informative or persuasive. Sometimes they are speeches to celebrate a person, a place, or event. They praise the subject of the celebration, and they offer a degree of ceremony. In other words, there might be a step-by-step process that you have to follow in the ceremony in order to celebrate the person, place, or event. It might be a celebration speech like graduation, commencement. You know what I'm talking about. If you're asked to give one of those speeches though, keep your speech short and sweet. Lengthy speeches during a commencement ceremony are not what people are there for. Some other functions of special occasion speeches are to commemorate. These are commemorating an event or a person. It offers remembrance or tribute. A eulogy, a roast, or a toast fall into commemorative type speeches. Speeches to inspire are motivational speeches. They motivate by examples of achievement or heroism. A speech that sets a social agenda articulates or reinforces a group's goals and values. Speeches of introduction are another type of special occasion speech. You use these to introduce a speaker who is following you. You briefly describe the speaker's background and qualifications, preview the speaker's topic, invite the audience to welcome the speaker, and definitely be brief. An introduction speech is not supposed to be super long. In fact, if you've ever heard of the Gettysburg Address, you would know that the person who spoke before President Lincoln spoke for 2 hours. Most of the people don't remember his name or the topic of his speech. However, the 2-minute and 22-second Gettysburg Address is something remembered by people all across the United States throughout the ages. Speeches of acceptance are made when somebody is receiving an award. You should prepare in advance. If you are nominated for an award, be sure you prepare a speech of acceptance as if you are already receiving the award. Express what the award means to you, express gratitude, and again, be brief. Have you ever seen an awards ceremony where people have been hauled off the stage because they've been talking too long? Just prepare for the people you want to thank, the acceptance of the award, and move on. Then we wouldn't have all these controversies or people saying things they shouldn't say during a speech of acceptance. Speeches of presentation. This is when you give an award. You communicate the meaning of the award and explain why the recipient is receiving it. Though it is not mentioned here, these are also brief speeches. Roasts and toasts. Those were mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, but a roast is intended to be a humorous tribute to a person. It is a series of speakers jokingly poking fun. Remember, a roast is only good if the person being roasted can continue to laugh. If they have stopped laughing along with the audience, then you've maybe pushed the line a little bit too far. If you want an example of a roast or a toast, there are several available online, including a roast of Tom Brady, and a roast of Bill Belichick, and several presidents. Also, there are roasts on Comedy Central, so go ahead and look them up. A toast is a brief tribute to a person or event. You've probably heard of a toast at a wedding reception. This is often where they toast the bride and groom or the couple that is getting married. In this specific type of toast, make sure that you don't drink before you give the toast. Drinking alcoholic beverages, I mean, because the toast won't come out the way that you had planned it. Also, make sure you plan and prepare ahead of time so you aren't telling stories that are inappropriate for the audience present. Usually, at a wedding celebration, the parents, grandparents, and children, aunts and uncles, and other family members are included, and they don't need to hear about what happened that one time in high school or that one time in college. Like I mentioned, with a roast or a toast, you don't just show up and talk. You need to prepare and, as you practice, time the speech so it doesn't take too long. You want to highlight the remarkable traits of the person being honored in either the roast or the toast. You always want to be positive and be brief. Eulogies and other tributes. Eulogies are used to commemorate a person and console the family members. The people who are present at the funeral are the ones to whom you are talking. They are your audience, not the person who has passed. You want to balance your delivery and your emotions. Refer to the deceased's family. Be positive, but be realistic. If humor is called for, you may certainly use some humorous stories, but make sure they are appropriate to the occasion of commemorating and consoling the family and other people present at the funeral. After dinner speeches are usually lighthearted and entertaining. Listeners are expecting to gain insight into a topic or to learn about the group's priorities or goals while being entertained. I usually call this edutainment. After dinner speeches also require you to recognize the occasion. You don't want to deliver a canned speech. In other words, a speech that you have given 100 times in 100 different places, because one person could have been at all of those presentations and heard that exact same speech. It doesn't apply to the specific group you are speaking to. You also want to keep your remarks low-key. Listeners are, of course, still digesting a meal. Thus, it's considered the after-dinner speech. Speeches of inspiration are another type of special occasion speech. If you are trying to inspire somebody, you want to seek to uplift the audience. Common examples of these include sermons, commencement addresses, pep talks, and nomination speeches. Speeches of inspiration require that you appeal to the audience members' emotions, use real-life stories, and be as dynamic as possible. You want to make your goal clear, consider a distinctive organizational device so people can follow along, and close with a dramatic ending. You want to inspire them to do something or change something. Speeches that set a social agenda. These are often called keynote speeches. They are delivered at conventions, conferences, or cause-oriented organization meetings. They outline the nature of an issue and an organization's approach. They articulate and reinforce goals and values of a group. I am sure that you have heard a boring keynote speech before. Try not to be boring. Remember, edutainment. There are many occasions where you will be asked to give a speech. Sometimes your purpose will be to inform, sometimes you'll be there to persuade, and sometimes simply to provide entertainment. Usually providing entertainment is done during a special occasion speech. Remember, it is important to prepare for a special occasion speech. Don't let it catch you off guard.